Hey guys, welcome to Into the Toybox. Happy Sunday. And I'm gonna go ahead and bring out co-host Beta Ray Bob.
Hello. How's
How
everybody
you doing,
doing?
Bob?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. You're having a good weekend so far?
Oh yeah. It's just busy but good.
Okay.
So-
Yeah, me too. Me too. So tonight we're gonna have on some special guests from
Mhm.
Toy Domination. So I'm gonna go ahead and bring them out.
Yep.
Um,
Uh, okay.
hello,
Hello.
hello, Dom and Joe.
Yeah, we need fireworks.
Yeah. This show is not really much on effects or anything, so it's pretty much
Wow.
straight up. This is what we got.
We just
We don't have, we
won.
don't have the
That was
budget.
it.
We don't have the budget for that yet.
No,
Okay.
here. This is it.
Yeah, that's it. That was
Right,
it.
yeah,
That was it.
Yeah.
Jazz hands.
How are you guys doing tonight?
It's going well. It's going fine. It's going good. I'm glad to be here. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, I appreciate you guys being here.
Yeah, doing good.
Yeah. I know school starts tomorrow for a lot of people, so I definitely appreciate it.
My kid's on this will be week 3. We're
really?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, mine starts tomorrow. But anyway, yes, thank you guys for coming on. And so I had a couple questions that I was kind of wanting to ask you guys because it was, I guess, almost a year ago, maybe a past a year ago, that I started watching you guys. When did you come up with that stream, your Toy Domination stream?
I think it was 20 years ago.
Yeah, we've been doing it just in Dom's living room to no audience for 20 years.
It was funny because Joe and I had always talked about doing a podcast or something.
Yeah,
I know, like we need to do something like this,
but it was comic books for the longest time. We were going to do comics.
Yeah. Right.
But I was always, I'd end up being deployed for a year. I'd go to Korea for 2.5 years. Or I'd go to Hawaii. So our times was, it was just, and YouTube wasn't that big back then, right? So like it just kept going further and further until finally I was like, I'm in East Coast time now. We got to do something, right? So like, and what was funny was we just launched, like did a top 20, and we're like, okay, we got our feet underneath us. Yeah, let's do this channel thing. Joe, I got to go to Europe. I'll see you later.
Yeah, we did like 1 show or 2 shows, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. And I was like, all right, well, I got to deploy. I'll see you later. He's like, okay. I was like, I don't know.
It ended up being really short. You said 6 months, and I was like, that means 1.5 years mentally. And then it ended up being like 3 months, and I was like, oh, all right, that's not bad. So it wasn't that bad. It was a rocky start, though.
Yep, pretty funny.
Hello, pirates.
Yeah, hey pirates. Hey guys. Chat. Yes, thank you. Hey Michael. So I guess it was. So you guys are the first live stream I ever watched.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
So it was like I knew that I was following you, Dom, on Instagram, and somehow I guess maybe you either promoted it on there or something, or somehow. But anyway, I ended up catching one, and most of the people that I was following on Instagram was pretty much in the chat. You know what I'm saying? And so it was like, oh, okay, well, I know some of these people. And so anyway, so that was kind of pretty much my first live stream to watch.
Look at that. Living proof that promoting your works helps, because here we are, right? So like,
there you go. That's right.
An algorithm.
Yes. All right. So Bob, I guess we kind of caught up on the chat, I guess, for most part.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially it's talking with each other right now. So
okay. All right. I'm gonna bring out some pics and let you guys tell me what you think about it. Yes, no, you're getting them,
Okay. Yeah.
I'm getting them all. I have them all.
Yeah, those are Dom's
toys. Yeah.
Okay.
Oh man, I got out my Vipers the other day because Grayson was playing. My son really likes to play with the 1/18 scale his tanks because he loves the big one, but like he's like, what? I want more. So I drag
maneuver the little ones. Yeah,
but the little ones. Yeah. But I have like 10 of them or so. So I bought all his tanks out, and then I was showing him that dudes can go in them. So I brought out my Vipers, and half of them were like the rubber bands rotted and broken. I'm like, man, I really need to get in here and fix some stuff up. But
That's funny.
Anyway, so mine don't look like that right now. They can't move.
Yeah, I was gonna say. So my kids, I've got 2 kids. A son is 15, my daughter's 13, and neither one of them really care about action figures or comic books or pretty much all the stuff I care about. They don't really care about it, And so I'm just like, I did something wrong, I guess. But
I was trying not to judge you, so I'm glad you went there. So
yeah, it's. I mean, he was on the right track. I had him all the Imaginext stuff at one point in time.
Where did I go wrong?
He never left that scale. He went smaller because he started playing with like those Minecraft blind box figures.
Oh yeah,
like 350 at stores, and he's got about 100 of those. But it just kind of went not that way. But
fell in with a bad crowd. It happens. Yeah.
Yes, right.
Fell with the back crowd.
So I said, well, if either one of them ever wakes up in the next 5 to 10 years, whatever, and they want to read comics, I definitely have all the comics that they could want to get to.
Yeah, I haven't gotten them reading comics yet, but soon.
My son, he doesn't want to read any novels, but he'll read any kind of like books with pictures in them, and I'm like, dude, why don't you just read a novel? It's like some of these are some good books and stuff, I was like, I named you after this one person in this book. He's like, nah. I was like,
what?
Nah.
Oh man,
we just started reading Ultimate Spider-Man and the Boys.
Oh, nice. That's a good one. Though.
There's a good cartoon. I miss when this came out. I think it was like
relatively recent, I think.
18. A cartoon came out, and like it wasn't the super manga one that like did the fourth wall break and like that. And it was pretty good. And I was like, hey, this is pretty much like Ultimate Spider-Man. So I bought the hardbound for him, and we were tearing through it. Oh my god, it takes so long for him to put on the suit though. It's like 8 issues in. I'm like, oh god, put on the spandex. So.
Oh yeah, I don't remember the beginning of that very well.
They had another Spider-Man. I don't know if it was Ultimate or not, but it was another Spider-Man book they had to come out. I guess maybe about 3 or 4 years ago. That it didn't go very far, but it was pretty much. I don't know if it's the same thing you're talking about. It was pretty much a reintroduction of Spider-Man. And it's like he had like a different villain on each comic cover for like, I don't know. I only got to like maybe 6 issues, but it was like pretty cool. Like I said, it was like a great jumping on point for kids, but I don't think it went past that. But
yeah.
Huh. Maybe it was a book based on one of the cartoons that they've done.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a bunch of cartoons recently.
All right. So I'm just going to go through some of these. I know.
That one is tempting.
Either one of you McFarlane fans or of the toys?
I'm trying. So Joe's a big DC fan. I'm trying to break him.
No.
Get into this line. I need him to get one hook in. So then he has to go back and get all of them that have come out.
I'll never go back. I'll never go back. I buy one. I buy like one McFarlane a year. Like I have, I think I have that Tim Drake coming soon, like on Amazon or whatever. Yeah. I have to say the Electric Superman wave. I mean, Dom, you remember the small bit of DC multiverse I kept was like that '90s.
The
Electric Superman JLA team. So like, and it's like he's only Electric Superman for like 4 issues maybe in that comic, but like, and I was just like, I love this. I'm keeping this. I'm just keeping these 7 figures. And then recently they made Wally. They've made Kyle already in that old school uniform. They made Electric Superman recently. They made a Hook Hand Aquaman recently. And I was like, I might just buy those 7 figures, but like, I don't know. I can't do it.
7 inches, they're gonna be off to everything else, and you're gonna be like, now I need to. That's what I'm hoping.
I can't. That's why I don't want to do it.
I wish that evil on you.
Well, I mean, most of my, 7 inches. It's pretty much 7 inches.
I got into the line, I guess originally, and I bought a few, and then I was like, okay, I just can't buy every Batman that comes out. I'm not.
Yeah, Superman blue and red. Well, he split to blue and red eventually. Yes. Yeah.
And so I was like, I'll just cherry pick the ones I want, and I hardly ever buy any, but. Man, I was like, I do like a lot of the Green Lantern core people. You know what I'm saying?
These are cool.
they're cool, and I don't know that I'll get them, but I just thought they were cool looking, right?
I think it's cool that they're decent amount of accessories, and then I like the double head, so you can just buy 2 of each, and then you have 4 lanterns. That's a really smart way to like build out the core to army build. So that's really awesome. I mean, I'm just not getting a lot of multiverse. This was weirdly tempting.
Yeah. So
it's so weird.
I know, man. It's like I was telling Bob earlier. I was like, if somebody makes a cool figure, and I just kind of think, oh man, it's like it's kind of cool. It's like I may pull the trigger on it, but I don't know that I'll get it. But it kind of sort of speaks to me. But you know, it's whatever.
Here's what I appreciate about it, though, is that they're like this guy. Like I have no idea who this guy is, right? He looks like Clocksworth from Beauty and the Beast with a cape on, basically. So like, it's awesome that this line has gone so deep that they're allowed to have figures like this and take risks like that. And the prices, I know it's gone up. I know there's some controversy about that, but everybody's getting price gouge.
It's still really good prices.
It's still relatively good, right?
Like
so like
even,
that's
I mean, it's not $19.99 anymore, but it's like
yeah.
$24.99 still, right?
Right. Yeah. So that's what I appreciate about it. So
yeah,
I think there's a lot more recently that have had like the 30 or 35 price tag on it, but it's because they're like deluxe or special,
or the exclusive or the gold label.
Yeah.
So
well, and if you're buying DC stuff, I think at this point in time, that's going to be a little bit more easier for you to do that, because who else is making DC figures?
Not at this price point. Yeah.
Nothing close to this. I was excited for when they announced McFarlane was getting it, but when they said 7-inch, I was like, ugh.
Yeah,
and then I just never got in, except for like random characters here and there. But
yeah, I was gonna say where they've saved me the money is I'm a big Legion of Superheroes fan.
Yeah,
nice. Haven't tapped that yet. I'm like, okay, I'm good.
Yeah, that would be if they did that, I'd probably get them all.
I think if they ever do that,
I would get them all.
Yeah. All right. I know you guys are probably not the biggest Star Wars fans, maybe. I don't know. But
I am.
I'm fans of it. I just don't buy the toys.
I just don't. My funds don't stretch the way. I was dipping into these every now and then and picking on clearance, but honestly, like when I look at the bins that I have these figures, and I'm just like, I don't need to invest in this. But robots are always a good investment.
Yeah, the robots are always awesome.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
and that one in particular is awesome.
Yeah, I think the K2SO. That's been a really good droid they've come out with in the past several years, and so
I've already
Kilowog was deluxe, but they did Kilowog.
Oh, gotcha.
I don't. He was probably deluxe. He was probably big and deluxe or whatever.
All right, Doctor Strange.
Oh yes. All right. Here's the thing. I think I have 3 Doctor Stranges right now, right? So like I have
Wong.
I do want Wong, kind of. I kind of want Wong, right? And then, but I really, really, really want that Ghost Basset Hound because 1, Finn. 2, that is from my favorite Doc Strange line of comics or run ever. It was so good. It had this amazing twist, and like magic had consequence. It was so great, and like they killed the dog, and like it was so great. It's by the artist.
Is this Doctor Strange sculpt from that?
No, and that's what blows my mind is that like that's like classic Doc Strange. I think he's got the haunted face on there too.
Yeah, he does like a little.
And I don't have the classic Dormammu. I have the Build-A-Figure one, so I'm all over the place with this. And yes, I kind of want Wong, but like I don't know. Do I want to pay $60 for a Basset Hound? You know, that's really what it comes down to. Yeah, okay, I do.
I am because I love Doctor Strange. And I really want to put that Dormammu head on it. You know, just
Dom, you can name it Melvin and just put it on your shelf.
There you go. That's tribute. Oh, that's perfect.
Yeah.
This is awesome, and no, I'm not buying it.
Yeah, it is awesome, but like, I don't care. MCU. Kang is such a loser. He's just like. I'm a time traveler. It's like, get out of here.
I don't know. I liked him in the Avengers Forever, but that storyline's crazy.
Shirt that goes to a diaper. Like, it's so weird, man. Like, I just can't get into Kang. Any of his storylines are just, they feel like a substitute. You know what I mean? It's like exactly.
You're like, I don't know. Throw Kang in there.
Yeah, I put Kang. Right? Yeah, we got, is it Apocalypse? Is it going to be Thanos like Galactus? Nah, Kang. It's like,
The funny thing about it is, I'm probably not going to get this, but the reason I would even get it is because I like those 2 alternate faces.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
It was like, I'm like, I'm just. It's like it's not.
I mean, the
it's
chair's cool.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's
Mhm.
cool.
Chair's
It's like,
very cool.
I can't pay, I don't know, $60 for just a face. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I have to pass on that.
I
You need to
can't.
rewatch
NCRs.
Avengers EMH.
It's like
Earth's
it's like
Mightiest Heroes.
Oh, I never got into that.
That was the
Oh,
Oh,
wait.
that's a good one.
that
It's
is a good
like-
one. That yeah, that's really good. Yeah.
Huh. I'll check it out.
It's like telling me that this flavor of ice cream is good. I'm just like, bro, I just don't like that flavor of ice cream. It doesn't matter
Right.
how much you syrup it up, put a cherry on it. I'm just not gonna eat it.
Have you guys seen the movie?
No. Do I need to go?
I'm not gonna say
Yeah.
anything. No.
Okay. All right.
No spoilers here.
Yeah,
Other
yeah.
than it's awesome.
All right, so spoilers for Deadpool.
No. So I really want to see this, but it's so hard for me to see a movie by myself, right?
Right,
So anytime and every time I'm like, maybe the boys could watch this.
Dom, no joke. The kid, like 2 kids your kid's age, came into the theater when I was watching this movie.
Oh, I was gonna say there was younger kids than that when I was watching it. I was like, oh my
Insane.
god, you kidding
That's
me?
insane. Yeah.
There's,
Yeah.
I mean, it's bloody, but there's, it's cartoony
Yeah.
blood.
My son's 15, and I haven't let him watch any of them yet, just because the first one, if it wasn't for the
Oh,
sex scene,
Yeah, there's
That's
a really
exactly what I
big
was gonna
sex
say. I was
montage.
like,
Yeah,
there's that
I'm
one
watching it.
sequence. Yeah.
but I just, I don't
No.
know.
Not there. I gotta hold back on that one. The filter still has to stay there.
I think
Yeah.
these look really, really awesome. I
Yeah.
think the Hugh Jackman head sculpt in particular is fantastic for a
Mhm.
Marvel Legends price
I
point.
know.
Like, it's
Yeah.
amazing. I just never get into the cinematic characters. I'm always
Yeah.
like straight comic book, or
Mhm.
like most of my comic book figures now are mezcos anyway, so they've got that little
Gotcha.
mezcoification of the costume or whatever. But
If I happen to see these two on the shelf, I might pull the trigger, but I'm not going to physically try to hunt them down.
yeah,
Right. Yeah,
they're
yeah,
really
yeah.
good looking
Yeah,
figures, I have
yeah.
to say. But
I mean, I like the movie a lot, but it's like, I'm more of the comic version than I
Yeah.
am.
I
used
have
to
like
not-
3 random figure. Like one of my mezcos is Spider-Man from No Way Home or whatever, but which is just a good Spider-Man figure in general.
Yeah,
But
Tom
right.
Holland's awesome. So, I mean,
Yeah.
I used to not care. I used to
Yeah.
mix it up, but now that they've been producing more and more comic waves,
Yeah.
and like they had a better Daredevil than the Netflix show, and I was happy with it. But I was like, you know what? My heart goes this way, So I'm
Yeah.
kind of dumping the movie figures to avoid them. But
Colossus looks like it could kind of go either way.
yeah,
Punch him in.
but I got a
I
good
think-
Colossus already.
I think that Marvel Legends will eventually make every version of the comic versions of the people. I think they're at the point right now that I didn't think they would make some of these D-string, people that they're doing, and they are, and it's like, I'm just waiting for the original 4 Horsemen of Apocalypse and like the
Mhm.
orange and gold from like the X-Men. I'm like, if they ever did that, I'll know for sure that they're definitely gonna make every figure ever made.
They've
Well-
gone down that far.
What'll happen
Well-
is they'll get right to that cusp, and then they'll refresh the entire line
There
and
you
start
go.
over
Yeah.
with like new bucks or whatever like new technology, and reset. So
Right,
like,
Like I said, they've already made Machine Man and Crystar, so how much deeper can they go?
well,
And Rom's Space Knight's coming up.
that's the
Yeah.
Spider-Man villains pack. If you didn't see that with like the guy who has the boar head, the Fly, Molten Man, it was like this. I'd never even seen some of those villains before. And I was like, what is this? So like,
Yeah, they did
you know,
Frogman.
It was
Yeah,
Frogman,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Frogman, yep.
And the thing about it is, I hate it because it's like I was like, they're never gonna make this figure, right? So there's no reason for me to keep buying all these figures, right? They're never gonna make them all. And,
Yeah.
if they're not making like almost all of them,
Yeah,
But
yeah, it's deep.
anyway, any interest in Lockjaw?
I do want that Lockjaw. I don't care about Cersei, Crystal. I don't remember. her name.
Crystal.
Yeah, that was that way where they were like blending her with Avengers, like before she like went to that costume and like back for the Inhumans, and like I'm just not an Inhumans fan. I think
I'm not an Inhumans fan at all.
Yeah,
But
Yeah, the dog's amazing though.
so
Right,
Dom knows
right.
this, but like, and it was kind of the same with the DC universe. But like, I made Toy Biz Marvel Legends and the DC multiverse. Before it was the DC EU or whatever they want to call it.
Right.
I got like every team imaginable at every figure, and then I slowly sold them all off. And then years later, Dom's like, "You should get into these Marvel Legends." I'm like, but I did it all already.
Yeah,
Like
right.
kind of like next. I'm like past that in my collection. Like my Marvel Legends collection consists of Excalibur that's waiting for Rachel Summers. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
that's kind of it. And then maybe like a figure here and there, maybe, but like I have a Captain America over there and stuff like that. But like I just don't have a lot lot of Marvel Legends. This looks awesome too. They look great. I have to say,
yeah, they're fantastic.
Yeah, a lot of these pics were from San Diego Comic Con, and I guess it seemed like it was almost like a Fantastic Four wave, almost kind of, with Lockjaw and Crystal, and then Dragon Man, whatever.
It's like plugging random holes like that, like what I mean, like Lockjaw could go in Humans, it could go Fantastic Four,
right,
kind of like a transitional one. Same with Kang, like is the Avengers.
Yeah, Kang can kind of be
the Fantastic Four villain.
Fantastic Four.
Yeah, Avengers. So like I kind of like that, and I'm not being negative. Like Joe said, like these are all great. It's just that I have beef with these personal characters. You know what I mean? Like that individual, I don't care how good it is.
Man, that Dragon Man is
Man.
huge.
I never got to build a figure. I almost got the knockoff a few years ago because it's Dragon Man, right? But this guy.
So will this be 40 or 60? You figure?
Oh,
60.
Gotta
be right.
Yeah, Odin now is $60.
10 inches tall, 17 wide.
Yeah.
Like that's huge.
Yeah. I didn't get Odin because of the price point. I'm like, what? Like
he's 60 though?
He's $58, and like Scar was.
Yeah, you just got Scar.
I think he was like 50-ish, right? So like you look at that, and I'm like,
it's gotta be. It's gotta be $59.99 at least. It might be $64.99.
Yeah, so it's got.
Well, I understand if it has a vehicle with it. I definitely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. That I think was like around the same price as Odin. I'm like, what? So this guy has got to be more than that. Like,
does Reed come with him, or is that just a size comparison?
I think that's a size comparison. I would think because they already have a Reed that looks like that. So.
Right, they already have.
Yeah, okay.
I don't know.
Deadpool Wolverine was horrible.
Man. All right, do not post any spoilers for you guys. Okay, do not do that, Bob. If you say anything,
it's not a spoiler. It's just an opinion.
Yeah. It's wrong.
He's trying to taper Dom's expectations.
Right. I know. Aren't you a Rom fan, Bob?
Yes. Well, I mean, I think he's a cool character. I didn't read the Marvel comics, but when IDW had the license for a while, I was picking it up.
I know Red Kanata. I think he's a big Rom fan.
Oh yeah, just a bit.
Yeah. So
see, this is a weird one because I'm not connected to this character at all, but I'd probably buy it.
I'm not either. I mean, I had some of the comics, but I'm just, I mean, I'm sure whoever was a big Rom fan is definitely appreciative of it because I think it was some kind of licensing deal or something. Was for the longest time the reason why they haven't made one. I guess.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Same reason why they get Cardiac from.
I'm not trying to be negative again, but like I missed Rom when it came out, and then when in the 80s I'd see a comic book, I'm like, this guy, and now still I'm looking at him like, this guy, like he's all playing except for one eye. The monocular is what's grabbing it there, and I'm just like, this guy, like okay, like I will give it a chance to go back and look at it because I'm sure there's going to be reprint of the issues coming up soon, right? So like, I definitely give it a try, but every time I look at it, I'm like, don't get the appeal here. So,
right.
Yeah, I think they're doing a ROM omnibus like they're doing with the Micronauts.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. This I am excited about. Here we go.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think these are a little bit bigger. I think than
are these an army builder pack?
Yeah.
A 2-pack or just one?
I think so. I think it's 2, right?
2-pack.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I think I will be getting this because that will work. I think with 4-inch figures to be a big bad guy.
Yeah.
So,
absolutely.
and I think because they show another picture of them fighting Captain America, and he's clearly smaller than those guys. So it's like
maybe it's like that first set of shoulders is like a normal head and shoulders for the that extra.
Yeah. I think it's stacked on top of a regular butt. Yeah. So these are cool, and my excitement tingled even more because I only recently started showing the boys the Marvel movies because now Finn's old enough to stay engaged with them, right? So we watched the Avengers movie when they're all charging the energy wall and like getting melted in a huge battle with all those. So I was like, hey,
is it from the movie or is it from a book?
No, those are the right. Those are the Avengers movies, right? Yeah.
I mean, it says Infinity War, but the drawing on the packaging is really cartoony.
They showed the MCU Cap fighting him in the.
Oh, okay.
Right. Yeah.
Well, they look really cool. I wish I had that.
Man,
I was going to ask, did you get one?
No.
Okay.
I didn't try very hard though. In fairness,
Dude, this is one of those figures that in chats, like, it's as controversial as like a HasLab. Like, everyone was just like set ablaze on it and so angry it sold out and like, oh, why'd you limit it to 5? And then the very next day it's like, and pre-orders are up on Pulse. And then everyone got mad that, well, I had it.
I think they were
And
mad
then
it
it
wasn't
sold
limited
out.
to 5. It was they were
Yeah.
mad that it was at 5. Like
Right,
they were
and
like,
then-
you should have limited it to 2 or something,
stop
so
for
everyone
scalpers.
could really
Yeah.
because like 5. No one needs 5 of these Cobra.
I didn't
Commandos.
understand that either, right? And then it went up, and then
It sold out in
and
like
came
30
back.
seconds the
Yeah.
first day, and then like
Man.
the next day it went up. It sold out in like 2 minutes, and I wasn't paying enough attention to like jump on right when it happened. So like I didn't, I did kind of check, but I wasn't like. It was like an hour later, so it was long gone.
So much.
I'm
anger.
living vicariously through you guys on GI Joe.
Mhm.
Just so get them all so I can see them, and you guys have fun with them.
I'm currently doing that for you. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Joe's got us covered.
You guys. What about him?
One of my least favorite repaint waves, the Mad Marauders. So
Yeah.
I didn't get Barbecue way back when they made him, and just recently this has gone up for pre-order, and I do love my Sergeant Slaughter, but that's kind of the point. I've already got him, so like I don't really feel.
Yeah.
But
I guess I don't even remember was this in the cartoon when they did this in the cartoon or the comic?
No, it was just like a Tiger Force, like
Yeah,
Python Patrol
subline.
wave
Oh,
kind of thing.
Mhm.
Yeah, I got you.
Or repaints of figures and stuff like that.
Dom, are you
No, I don't like the Neapolitan color scheme they got going on there.
Yeah.
It's so off for me, and like it's the hard cut lines, but
It's
like
the hard cuts.
Yeah,
on the old 80s
no
figures,
blend.
that like a 3 3/4, I could understand it, but when they do it for classified, I'm like, why don't you update that idea into something more modern?
Well, I think these are one of the ones that they need to copy and paste because it's so niche. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
like, unlike this cool cat here, who they updated, and he looks amazing.
He looks awesome.
Yeah.
He's much better than the 80s.
I mean,
Absolutely getting him.
I mean, he looks like he could fit in almost any kind of line.
Yep.
You know what
Mad
I'm saying?
Max, like absolutely.
Yeah, he's got some awesome Mad Max vibes going on.
This is Joe's big on getting the class, but every time I see like he had Jinx and then Joe last week, Adam had Jinx. I'm like, I've got to go back and go.
That Jinx is really awesome figure.
Road Pig that's coming out looks amazing.
Yeah, the Road
like,
Pig. Yeah.
I can't turn down. And it's funny because the military ones are what I actually like from GI Joe. But when I see the goofy ones, I'm like, I want that with my superheroes. Like that's kind of like how I'm taking them and transporting them. Yeah, exactly.
Gang guy that gets beat up by Daredevil or something.
That's it. Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
like I start, we were playing with Metalhead the other day, and like him being able to fire off missiles at like Iron Man or Miles. I'm like, this makes total sense in the superhero world. I mean, it's so stupid. But I mean, like,
it's silly.
So
no, that does.
That's as silly as Stilt Man.
Yeah. Oh, I hate Stiltman though. Like, so serious. Look at that big boy. Look at him.
Funny story about Stiltman. I told a friend of mine that I was going to build him to the ceiling. And he also came with the ninjas, right? He came with the ninjas.
Was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes.
And
that
so
was
I think I bought like 5 extra ninjas, and I put them all together, all the legs together, and I went outside and I stood him up and I took pictures of him, and it was in the snow because it was like in the winter or some year when it finally came out. And so I got a picture of him making like one long stride.
Oh, that's awesome.
But it's like after that, I'm like, what am I gonna do with all these legs? You know
yeah.
The ninjas are fine, but it's like the legs is like whatever.
I love
have a really tall stilt man.
That Brock Lesnar inspired, and everyone was like, "Oh, what happened? He looks fat," and they were like, "No, he looks like world's strongest man."
Yeah, he looks like he could lift up one of those giant rocks and carry it over the finish line.
Exactly. They're not supposed to be jacked. They're massive and huge, and like they're not going for tone. They're going for strength. I was like, that's what this guy is. Like, I thought it was genius they went that direction. It's so cool.
I think that's a great direction to go, but it's also not what the old figure was like. So, like, I mean, he was ripped. So, like, I mean, I can understand them being like, that's not really what he was like, but I mean, that's fine.
They have really nailed it with their animal packs. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, yeah.
It's like they have really nailed it,
Yeah.
And like I said, I'm going to live through you guys, except for him. Without a doubt, I'm buying him because he is just too awesome.
He's up for pre-order right now.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
I did not pre-order him. I'm gonna wait till all those figures are coming out in like November, and I was like, let me make sure I can buy Christmas presents for my kids before I get 17 GI Joe figures for myself.
Yeah.
So I thought I'd wait because I'm not really worried about Raptor or some of those 60th anniversary ones selling out, but like Road Pig, I'm like, well, I'm getting him, kind of thing. So I was very choosy with this recent wave with what I'm getting first.
I will pull the trigger on this guy, just because I've got GI Joe money to spend because I'm holding on to it, right?
Yeah,
But,
the wings are awesome. Like they look great.
Yeah, and
they're great update.
I didn't bring any of the other pictures, but the fact he can use them as a shield, like Captain America,
Yeah, very Falcon. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, I hate that they made this idiot so cool. Like he was the worst one in any bin we had. That and Hypnosis. That guy was
Hypno. Yeah, when they make that guy, if they make him look cool, I'm gonna be like, wow, you really did it.
Yeah, like really did.
You somehow did it.
This is
I always
so
liked
good.
Raptor.
Yeah. Did you really?
Yeah. Well, what I did was like after I got him, I glued some twist ties to his wings so they would be like functional.
Oh, nice.
He'd be like flying around like a superhero in my GI Joe world. So
gunned down immediately.
He looks. The head sculpt looks really nice too, like without the hawk head or on the falcon head.
Yeah, they definitely did it just classified. That's for sure.
I feel like the Hasbro team is just like, I can do anything good. Watch this, and just bam,
Yeah.
It's just a flex.
They're like, we saw that. We saw Spider-Man.
Exactly. Yeah,
we can make something look cool.
Yeah.
Did you get one of these, Joe?
This one I missed. I have heard it's popping up in Target, and I have been kind of like popping over into Targets in my area more frequently, hoping that I'll grab it. But I have not grabbed it yet. No.
This was one I was kind of like maybe thinking about getting just because I thought the figure was kind of cool as well.
Yeah, I mean, he looks great. The skull face printing on his mask is really awesome.
Yeah, but like I said, I haven't seen it anywhere. But
if I see it in Target, I'm going to grab it. But I mean, I haven't seen it yet. And I've seen the Roadblock and Tripwire Tiger Force pack popping up too. So like, clearly it's in the area or coming soon, hopefully. But yeah, if I see one, I'm going to grab it.
I did. So my Target usually has nothing, but I did see the Roadblock Tripwire 2-pack. I'm like,
I haven't gotten that either, but I don't. It's just the Tripwire. I'm like, do I really want a Tiger Force Tripwire? I kind of want the Roadblock, but I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, you'll probably be seeing that 2-pack for a while.
I'm like, maybe I'll just wait because every time I go into Target, there's like 6 of them, and I'm like, I'm just gonna. If this is here 2 months from now and on clearance, then I'll buy it. I don't really care. I don't care enough to buy it right now.
What about? Did you guys back this?
I haven't backed it yet, but I will before it's over.
Man, how long is that running for?
It's to the 9th of September.
Oh wow! Oh, so nice.
It's got
big window.
It's like a 45-day thing. I think they're like
a lot bigger window than they had for the Cantina. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I was annoyed because like the Stinger came out just recently, and I was like, why are you dropping $100 toys on us in our pre-orders when you're asking us to buy a $300?
Oh, right. Yeah, that's silly.
Like you couldn't have waited. Yeah.
Is classified, but is that Hasbro's cash cow right now?
I bet. I mean, it seems like.
Well, I mean, the Star Wars line's doing amazing too, right? I mean, like.
Star Wars. I think GI Joe has surprised them with how popular.
I agree. Yes, I agree with that.
I don't know if it's like the breadwinner, but I do know. I mean, then it's their product, so it's their IP.
Exactly,
so they're not paying like through the nose for.
There's that.
Licenses.
I feel like the team that's behind Classified is, they have like knocked it out of the park.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, I think it's awesome.
I was wondering about that tier.
They're still not on tier 2 after this. I mean, it's like funded like a day.
I mean, there's always like a last few days surge. Yeah. There's always
beginning and the end. That's always
yeah. Like I
probably
won't. I mean, honestly, I really just want the second tier. Although I would rather have a third figure. I really just want the gunner pilot. The gunner.
Right.
Yeah, I don't really care about the Baroness pilot character, but.
Yeah.
We'll see.
Oh, it's board games. Yeah.
I was gonna say Magic the Gathering and
Magic, and
is
then
really it's. But in terms of toys,
yeah, and they bought
I'd
Wizards
say
of
it's
the Coast
probably
and,
Star
like,
Wars.
Yeah.
Maybe
So-
Marvel Legends. I wonder if Marvel Legends and GI Joe are kind of neck and neck now. I bet.
Well, as far TVC. TVC is I think hit all of them. Black Series is not. What about this?
I heard this was paused, wasn't it?
It is paused.
Yeah.
I really liked that concept art they drew. I don't like this. I don't want it.
No, I think it's neat. But right now, my
Weird
challenge
vehicle they stuck onto it and stuff. Like I'm just like, why are you doing
it's
it?
classic toy. That's why it's like very,
guess.
very classic toy. Like
I just wanted like a bifold clamshell, like the snake.
like the old ones. Yeah.
Snake Mountain and
My thing is that space. Like I'm right now, like there are some things in the chopping block.
Yeah, that's another thing.
The
It's too
chopping
big.
block in my room where I'm like, this may go. Like this, AT&T Walker may have to leave because I just don't have space for it. And stuff. This guy's fun though.
He is fun, I think. Yeah. Are you buying very many? Are you Dom? Are you buying very many of the He-Man figures?
So I was, and I cherry picked, but honestly, like the last few, like Ram Man and a couple other, I went in and I was like, I just don't want this right now. Like it's just too. It's honestly, I think it's the skin or the paints that kind of sway me off to it, and because I'm like thinning my collection anyways, or like narrowing it down, that was the one like that's the excuse I needed not to buy more. Yeah. That said, the Buzz Off is awesome, and I want more of those. And Whiplash, I like the monsters. All the monsters in there. Whiplash.
I'm really enjoying the new Eternia subsection of them.
Those are cool too.
For sure.
Oh, I did get Randor when he or
Oh,
not Randor,
really? Okay,
but,
cool.
Keldor. Yeah, he went on sale. I was like, I'm gonna get that guy. Oh yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'll get that Leech for sure.
Yeah, I want to get some of those Revolution figure too.
I saw the what's the guy's name with the white mask on or the skull or whatever? What's his name? Okay. Yes. I had all of the He-Man figures when I was a kid, but I can't remember hardly any of them's name or anything. But and I think he came later. He was on one of the later waves or something. But
yeah, he was
Princess of Power.
Princess of Power. Yeah, he was.
And so I was like, man, can I fudge this guy to be some kind of like evil overlord or something?
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, maybe. I was like, let me just pause on that, and I'll check back again. But the first time I saw them was the other day, and I was like, oof, because I'm looking at like stuff like, since I mostly do.
Hi, buddy.
Hey, have a good time, Joel.
That's awesome. Temple of Doom.
Yeah, awesome. But yeah, it's like since mostly I'm just doing the 118 stuff. It's like I do try to like break the scale occasionally with some bad guys or whatever, just to give me an excuse to do it sometimes.
Yeah.
It's fun to get a good toy.
Yes. Yes.
Look at that guy.
Yes, that looks awesome. If I saw him, I'd buy him in a heartbeat.
So Joe has convinced me. Like every time he shows one of these figures, I'm like, that is so fun. That's fun.
Yeah.
I want them, but every time I go to Target, I promise like if I see one, I'm gonna get it. But like they're never there. But I really want to get these. Like I don't like.
I saw the Splinter Gray Skull crossover guy recently. I didn't buy it though.
Look at this.
I got the Origins toys for my son just so he could he's only like 3. He's not really playing with them yet. But like I was just like, these are half for me, but also they're just fun to buy, and they're like $15 a pop. So like I'm just gonna get a bunch of them for him. And then these ones came out, and I was like, "These are awesome." I'm just gonna I have the Krang one, and that's fantastic. And I've got most of the mutant ones, like the Ram Man and the He-Man, that are like see-through purple. Those are really fun.
The Krang, I almost pulled the trigger on, but I'm like,
"Oh, he's great."
I don't need to do that. But if I see this guy on the shelf, it is a guaranteed pulling the trigger because I just think it's such a cool, fun figure.
He looks awesome.
Look at that two-tone on the snout too. It's really good.
Yeah, and his eyes look creepy.
Yeah, it's so good, dude.
Yeah, I love it.
I've got like a pretty solid Super 7 Turtles collection, and my son pulls those off, and they're on the bottom shelf, like sewer wise, for all my other shelves. So he pulls them off all the time, and he just loves Krang, and he loves all the he just pulls off the monster. He loves Bebop and Rocksteady. But I got him all the movie Turtles that recently came out, the new movie.
Oh yeah.
and he loved
Okay.
those a lot.
Oh,
But,
go ahead.
No, it's alright. He just
I
just been getting them
Gotcha.
for him, really.
I was going to say the newest wave of the movie figures is out with the parts.
Yeah.
There's like robot. I think you can build with those or something like that. And I was like,
cool.
that's what my mind goes to, like straight up,
robots,
like,
yeah.
hey, forget about the turtle. What can I build? What kind of robot can I build with these parts?
Oh, repurposing, absolutely.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
and it's
yeah,
like
yeah.
arms and legs and stuff. And you have it. I think there's a new cartoon of the movie characters coming out on like Paramount Plus or something. I don't know what it's on, but I think there's like some robots going on in that, so that's what that.
Interesting, feeding into it. Okay,
but
cool.
there's like two. I think you can buy two. I think it's like Metalhead and then like another really like generic robot or whatever, and you can build them all from the parts.
Gotcha.
But you can also buy them. So I'm like, I think you can just get like a bunch. Ultimately, you'll have a bunch of robots running around if you bought all those toys.
I was a huge fan of the IDW comic book series.
Oh yeah.
And the 2000, I think it was 2014, whatever the Nickelodeon.
2012, yes.
I love that show, man.
Really good.
I loved it so much. And I was like, I got my son. He's like, he watched it all with me. He's like, and I was like, just watch a couple episodes with me, man. And he did. And like, hey, Dad. He's like, well, the season's over. Let's watch the next season. I said, okay, all right, let's keep going. And so he really kind of got into that. So
I wouldn't be able to say no if you asked me like that either. So, look at this guy.
Yeah,
Cosmic Legions.
Yeah, I know this is a little bit bigger than what I normally collect, but this is the line I was talking about. That it's pretty much like it's what I would have if I had a choice to pick out stuff. They definitely made it for me, I would say. Because
a lot of Dune vibes going on with this wave.
Yeah.
Too,
I love
which I really like.
I don't know if I'll buy very many from this line, but I will definitely buy this one for sure.
Look at that mace.
I'm getting three of that one.
Yeah, this figure in particular is really awesome.
Yeah.
Here's what's cool about Cosmic Legions over Mythic Legions, right? Mythic Legions doesn't have any IP. They just made it all, sculpted it all themselves. But there is lore behind it with orcs, elves, goblins. We know what those things are. Cosmic Legions are like, you'll see if we go through this wave. It's like, here's a guy, here's a blue thing, here's this thing. Like there's nothing else you can compare it to. So it's completely starting from scratch, and it's so awesome. And they just bang it out of the park. Like,
yeah, great. It's like they're awesome for sure, and I'm glad probably that they don't make them in 4-inch because I would go broke.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I would literally go broke buying these.
Yeah.
But I'm just gonna run this wave of these guys because, like I said,
this guy. What's up, man? I haven't talked to Josh in forever.
What's up?
Josh, what's up, man? Yeah. We got Toy Domination on tonight.
She's really
pretty cool.
She looks cool. Dom knows I tend to get all the female characters I can just to give my daughter more toys to play with in my collection. So I'll probably grab her.
Yeah,
this guy looks awesome
too, man. Yeah, it's like people were saying this guy was going to be the next Thistlethorn, which I don't know if that is true or not, but I think he looks pretty cool.
He does look really
cool. Is it this guy or is it the blue guy they were talking about?
Oh, maybe it's the blue guy.
Yeah,
probably.
This one's interesting because it's like the natives to the planet, right? So that you can see like the lack of technology here, and like the theme they set up around a wave is really cool too. Like this crew crash land on this planet. This guy. Oh my god.
I mean, he looks awesome.
So good. That orange, a little orange and purple in there.
I love everything about it, man. It's like I don't think they could have even picked a better head sculpt than what they had. Exactly. It's like, that's crazy.
There you go. This guy.
This is the guy, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he has another head, right? Yeah.
I love that like Leia and Boosh disguise helmet he's got on. And he's also got like a regular head sculpt where the helmet's
right.
on. So
and really he's squatting down there, right? But when you take off his because all that cloth can come off of this buck. He's got like a really long upper body, so it's like gangly and like short legs and like I don't know. It's just that's what I'm saying. Like they didn't have to make an elf or an orc. They're just like, we're gonna make this alien, out of whatever we
Yeah.
want, and here it is. I'm like,
He looks like he could be driving a pod racer in the first.
Oh
Star
yeah,
Wars.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, yeah.
Mhm.
So,
But he does look awesome. Yeah.
they're really cool. Oh yes, yeah.
This one.
Look at those wings.
Yeah.
He looks
Uh,
awesome.
This might tempt me to buy one.
Oh
Yeah,
yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
I'm definitely gonna get this one too. Just because, you know.
The sculpt on the hands looks awesome. Look at those
And
gloves.
well, and the alternate head is the bug guys from the first wave. They carved it out and then they made it a helmet. So it's like this head wears the helmet of the other bug
Yeah.
guys too.
Yeah,
So,
Bob. There's another head that goes with it. I didn't put it in here, but there's another head that goes in there that actually looks
Mhm.
like a bug.
Yeah, it looks like Buzz
Oh,
Off's
nice.
helmet.
It looks
Yeah.
super good, super good.
Yeah.
so good.
And then
Yeah.
I know I'm getting one of these because this is going to be a good mount for 1/18th scale.
Mhm.
And that roll, the sleeping bag in the back actually unrolls and you can put the character in it. So you can
Yeah.
actually use the sleeping bag. So,
Oh, really?
yeah. Yeah, it's really cool. Yeah.
That's cool. That's cool. And I love the fact that they're adding accessory packs and stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Yeah,
You
this is just
Mhm.
good art, good world building.
Yeah,
Yep.
it's like
The box
they
opens
almost
up.
like
Yeah.
the code a little bit, right? It's like,
Yeah.
well, we're not gonna make these figures. We're also gonna throw in some equipment and stuff, and I'm like, oh
Mhm.
my god, because it's like,
Yeah.
well, I can't really world build 112 because you don't have anything. It's like, well, we're gonna help you with that.
Oh,
We're gonna give you
yeah.
a few little things, I'm like, oh my gosh, yeah. Anyway, yeah, it's
Even world build 112 is just it takes up a
Yeah.
lot more space.
right.
Mhm.
You're right. And that's gonna be the end of those picks.
Oh.
Look at that.
Look, a lot of
Who
lizards.
did that? Who did that?
So,
Lizards.
what you don't see in the rest of this picture? So that's most of the Savage Crucibles I've got stacked on the Adonis Rex there. And if you notice the theme, everything on the ground there is dinosaurs or lizards, right? So like, there's a little tiny imp lizard riding that bone dragon at the bottom there. Dinosaurs on the opposite side are all mammals. So they took out like all the bears, all the cat people, all this stuff too. So they had like reptiles versus mammals here. But I thought it was so cool. They were so proud. They stacked all these Savage Crucibles on Indominus. So,
I really kind of like that line, but it's probably a good thing that they're like sold out because it's like, I wanted to get like kind of like I want to get like
Well,
one
here's
of them,
why.
but I didn't pre-order or anything like that, and
Here's
so
why.
now I can't find them anywhere, and so it's like, well,
yeah.
all right, it wasn't such a bad thing, I guess,
So Rob's a pretty good businessman, and he's trying to be careful with what he re-releases because he doesn't want to just get the same mold into people's hands. So they gave that, I forget what it's called, but it's like the Shadow Slate, right? So they redid one in a purple. It's really
Right.
cool, and it's curious to see his business model. But they're going through wave 2 right now, which is Barbarians, and they've got wave 3 coming up.
Mhm.
And they've got a 4th wave already being tooled. So like they're just continuously rolling out. And he's like,
Yeah.
it's like a momentum, He's like, at this point, like we're trying to keep up. So it's awesome.
Now, didn't they just start this Kickstarter last year?
Yeah, it was pretty much.
Yeah, it was
It
pretty
was
close.
last year.
Yeah, because it was supposed to come out. We were supposed to get figures in hand before Christmas in November, but whatever delays and all that.
Right.
And then it came, the beginning of this summer. So yeah, it was relatively fast.
Well, to be honest, when you did your review of it, it really made me want to get one.
Oh, great. I win.
And
Like that, Wallace.
You know
It's
why? Because Dom focuses on being able to play with the toy.
There you go. There you go. And so it's like,
What a
you know,
weird perspective to have.
kind of like I was like, man, that really looks cool, And so, anyway, like I said, if they ever make do some revisions or whatever, I'll definitely get one because I just want one just to kind of see how it is. You know
Get the
what I'm saying?
Piranoids. Get the
It always
Piranoids.
starts with one.
Yeah, exactly. The fish ones are really what I'm excited about. Like the lizards, I was like, yeah, okay. But I went all in on the lizards, but I think the Piranoids, I went like double. Like I can't wait to get those. Like who makes like crazy deep shit, Cthulhu inspired deep sea fish? Like that,
Right.
there's almost none of those, and they're so well done. And I'm like, oh man, I'm excited about those.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, anyway, it's like I said before, we're in the golden age of toys right now.
Yeah.
I mean,
Which is
it's just,
also a curse. So
that's true.
Yeah.
True. Yeah.
That's why whenever I see those pictures like Toys R Us, they say have like all the toys down. It's like, oh, it was a great time. I'm like, yeah, but if you look at that picture, that's like the same toy like three times, and the same.
Snake
You know what I
Eyes
mean? It's
17
like,
deep.
yeah, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
And like we have that now. It's just that it's all on the internet. You know what I mean? Like if you took a picture like that of internet site to be or third party to be the same kind of thing. Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Oh yeah, here we go.
Yeah,
What's
so
that Duke body on the right there, Dom?
On the far right?
No, on the second to the right. That's Duke, right?
Yeah, it's the Resolute. Duke,
Resolute?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. So best.
Yeah, that was a good body. I like that one.
yeah.
It's a good body.
That's a good
Perfect.
body.
Yeah, we are we going to get around to having another session with these guys?
We are. So Joe is actually working tirelessly to redesign the interior of the book. So I wrote all the rules. We beta tested it. We played it. And then I gave it to Joe. I was like, have fun. But he's like, we actually had the version at Joe Fest for people to go flip through and get their hands on. But we're not done. That was just like a draft. We didn't want to like publish it.
That was it was version 1 of my draft at least. It was version 4 or 5 for Dom going through the rules and stuff. But it was version 1 of the design of the book. So
right.
We're definitely gonna make
layout
it prettier.
Is set, rules are set, the scenarios are set. Now Joe's going through and like actually making it look like a book that you'd be like, oh my god, this looks like a professional made it. Right?
Yeah.
So, but for our channel, we do first one was just behind a paywall, and we beta tested it. And the second one we streamed for Patreon members, and the third one we are going to do. It's probably going to have to be like September-ish though. So only because it takes a lot to set that up, and my room is just a wreck right now. So
Right. Well, I had a great time playing. It was fun.
Good.
The time went by like that. I felt like I really didn't like. I've never played like D&D or any of that stuff, and so it was a little bit intimidating going into it. And then I was like, well, let me just see what the other people do, and then I'll like follow them pretty much. And so, pretty much the first game we played, I was like, okay, I don't really know what I'm doing here exactly. But by the time the second game was here, I was like, hurry up. Get my and let me get my turn, but
it's easy. You just gotta shoot, stab, don't die. That's it. That's all you gotta do. And Bob got to play at Joe Fest.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun doing it in person, even though we got like just completely annihilated. It was
was really funny. Lockdown Productions, Nassau Station was at Joe Fest. And he had his daughter, so we teamed up his daughter and my oldest son against Bob and him. And yeah, it was a kind of a long map or whatever, and like they just went in and they just shot the crap out of like 2 of their characters right off the bat. I was like, oops, this is a runaway game. And that's exactly what happened. It just went downhill from there. So
it spiraled, but still fun. I mean, everybody had fun playing too.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, and the idea is that it's supposed to be. It was awesome. Thanks, man. It was good to meet you too at GeoFest too. So the idea is that I don't like a game where you have to sit and wait your turn for long periods of time. Like it's really boring. So the idea is that even on somebody else's turn, there are things that like you're counter rolling.
You're countering attack, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like you're constantly like throwing dice and doing stuff too. And the decision of
real bad.
Do I go big on my turn or do I hold something back for his turn? Right. So like there's that decision that'll impact when it's not your turn too. And I always like player agency in games. So the Battlefield game is kind of a similar way too. It's like, like you can hold something back, you can give it your all, but you'll see what happens. And it goes back and forth very rapidly. So.
Oh yeah, it's very, very fast paced.
Was Joe Fest a hit for you guys?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. My boys were like, this is the funnest convention we've ever been to. So we're actually going to skip Legion's Con this year, even though we love going to New York. But I was like, I think Legions are fun, but like we can't compare it to Joe Fest. Like that's true. I'm like, okay, let's pick one. Let's just go back to Joe Fest again next year. So we're going to do it. I think it may become like a thing where I just take the boys there and then meet up with Joe, and maybe we drag Nicole. I don't know, probably not. But yeah, it was such a blast, man. It was great. Like from wake up to crashing the hotel bed and watching a movie and then passing out and doing it all again the next day. It was fantastic. It's great.
Yeah.
Were you able to get some time to go like out into the downtown Augusta area?
No, I did no adulting. That was the one downside about bringing kids, was that like at the end of and running a booth. Like at the end of the day, I was so just absolutely wiped. And then I had my boys too. I was just like, I honestly just want to just watch a movie and go to bed at 9:30. Like so I missed out on all the like, hey, we're going out here, we're going out to this thing. I'm like, I'm just gonna fall asleep here. And that was the only downside, was that you get to see people at a convention. But while you're on the floor, it's like, hey, what's up? Oh, it's great to see you. Okay, I'll see you later. You don't actually like sit and like be able to talk to people. So that was the only negative to that. But I think it was worth it being able to bring them along, because that experience is great.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah, they seem to be.
They
seem to like really happy and enjoying it.
It's like, who's a better dad, than the dad who takes their kids to like the toy conventions? You know what I'm saying?
Right, yeah.
I mean, that's
definitely a parenting.
There isn't one. That's the answer.
Yeah, it's like they don't have if they don't appreciate it, I promise you they will later, because it's like that's just something that doesn't happen all the time,
Well, and thanks, but and the flip side is too, like the other, I guess, sacrifice piece is like they got bored when we're at the table, right? And they had an iPad, or they have watches on so I can track them, right? I don't want to delete. That's just go to Joe Fan.
I mean,
but like, it's
okay, Finn, don't worry.
But they could run around the floor, so it's contained in there, right? But even with all those things, their attention would wane. They'd be like, Dad, I'm like, okay, I gotta like stop doing Joe Fest stuff now. Shut this down for a minute, and then we're gonna go to the pool. And I take them to the pool, let them swim, go upstairs. I was such a dad. I brought all this food in the hotel room to eat in the hotel room, so we weren't going out all the time to eat, right? But like you recarve them up, and they're like, we're good to go. And they recharge. We go back to the floor for a while, and like having to like Heisman adults to focus and be like, hey guys, let's you and I just go walk around for a little while and not talk to Ken or Bob or whoever else is there, So like that's the trade-off you do when you take it. But honestly, like I'm hoping that is what, because I'm gonna have my kids my whole life, right? I'm hoping that lasts. They're like, oh yeah, my dad would like stop and take us to the pool, not make us sit there and be like, we're so bored, So I don't know.
Yeah,
I was gonna keep my kids until they're about 10.
Yeah, that's. I mean, I'm waffling, right?
Yeah, it's like enjoy that time, because it's like their attention may turn away from toys, and then it's like it's going to be over at that point. It's like, well, I had them for a little while, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm cherishing. Like Violet the other day said, like, I just love toys so much, and then we were like playing. We had like she has a Princess Castle, but we had Castle Grayskull and Snake Mountain and stuff. We had all this stuff out, all these mixtures of characters playing. And I was just like, and she's like, I just love this. And I was like, yes, yes, you do, But I mean, at some point she's going to be like, I'm a teenage girl, leave me alone. I'm like,
Yeah. So it's going to turn eventually to like the I wouldn't say YouTube, but basically probably maybe the makeup influencers and stuff like that. She'll kind of start watching, And so I was like, because mine's been like, I'm like, she went from like Sheriff Callie and the Wild West Disney shows to like, and then the next thing you know, it's like, well, we're watching makeup shows now. I'm like, okay, I guess this is what we do,
And the cat's in the cradle of the silver moon.
But she's the one that's, is like, Tannis, my son, he's like, he'll watch like a lot of the same stuff that I like to watch. Like he's just now kind of in the past few years gotten into the MCU.
Is he a ginger half elf?
Huh? What's that?
Is he a ginger half elf?
He is a ginger.
Yeah,
so I named him Tannis because of the character Tannis Half Elven from the Dragonlance.
Yeah, Dragonlance. Yeah, that's why I said he's a ginger half elf.
Oh, that's awesome.
So you have a beard yet?
Not yet, but I was just talking to him about that today, because he's like, Dad, I need to use your shaver. He's like, because mine's broke. I'm like, I said, shave what? He's like, I got some
shave what?
I'm like, I said, okay. I'm like, let's get to
well, if you're any basis, he'll have a pretty thick beard at some point.
Yeah, and exactly, right. And so I said,
pair of tweezers.
You want me to get the mustache? He's like, no, I like the mustache. I said, okay, whatever. I said, but just so you know, in a few years, you'll probably be having to use a regular razor for a little while, here and there. He said, well, what's it going to be? What color is it going to be? I'm like, well, it's going to be the color of your hair, man. It's going to be kind of a reddish color. He said, oh, okay. I just didn't want it to be black. I'm like, dude, no, it's not. It's not gonna be black. It's gonna be kind of a reddish color, you know. But anyway, yeah, fun times.
Just dye it, but
hair
Yeah.
lessons.
Yeah.
Yay!
This is my favorite
this
video
one-
Dom's ever made.
Because
Yeah.
I think that
this was really cool. Yeah.
Thank you.
And if anybody hasn't seen it in the chat, please go watch it because it was awesome.
I need to do
After the show.
Even Dom,
Go-
even
go
your
watch it
voice
after the
acting
show.
in it was good. You were
Oh, thanks.
really spot on this one.
Thanks. I want to do more of these, but they
It only
take
snows once a year.
No, but not just that, but it takes a lot of work.
It does,
Like
yeah.
that
Yeah.
like 5-minute video or whatever took, tons. So like I want to do more of these. We're gonna be a little more game focused, I think, for the next few months. But then once we get Actionverse kind of rolling and this next thing we're doing kind of rolling, I want to go back to these. These are the most fun, I think.
Yeah, I want to say that was it was a super fun video.
Thanks.
Thanks,
yeah,
man.
I wanted to put that on here for
After
that.
the show.
Yeah. Yeah. But that is pretty much going to be it for the pictures. We went through those pretty good. I was kind of worried that I had too many on there. But yeah, so I guess you won't be able to. I don't know if you can say anything about the current thing you're doing.
Yeah, I can. So while we're, of course, I'm an idiot. So while we're trying to make Actionverse finalized, right? Because the rules are already done. And then we're going to do some more streams to kind of help promote that too. And then once we actually get the cards and the books, we'll have stuff to actually start sending people as printouts, right? To promote it. So that'll kind of ramp up there. But in the meantime, of course, I can't sit still. So I'm like, man, Actionverse is fun. But I really like big battles, like tons of stuff, like, operational, strategic. And like Joe and I, when we first were hanging out, right? Like, we kind of still didn't really know each other. We knew each other. We were both like G.I. Joes in high school. So like, okay, we have toys. And he came over. I remember the first time we did this, he came over and our buddy Kenny was there. And I was getting upstairs and getting yelled at by my mom. And I came back downstairs and they were parsing out my collection. I was like, what are you doing? They're like, well, Kenny,
we're picking armies.
We're picking armies. I was like, oh, I got more. And I went in and dragged out some buckets. Like, I got a tomahawk. So like we split up these 3 armies and we divided up my basement. And and that's what we call it. It started from there. It's called the versus game, right? So you like cut up your turf in your house and you pick the corners and you go at it, right? But there's no like real rules to it. And it was fun because you negotiate.
There's no rules really.
Yeah.
It's just,
you table talk, and then slowly we were like, well, let's put some like neutral people out there that nobody owns. We have a
we'd usually have like a neutral like city or something that
and
like
of course everyone
could all go to and interact, and it would cause some sort of problems.
And there'd be like random agent characters running around too. So you have big armies, you have random agents like wandering around, like assassinating people or like infiltrating. So while you're getting ready to go stomp the dog crap at each other, there's like little people trying to set the stage for that. And I was like, that was so much fun. And like, I always wanted to recapture that. And then I learned about a mega game and what a mega game is. I mean, if you're not familiar with this, go to Shut Up and Sit Down. Joe's, I think, watched this video. And it's these Brits. And like, it's just like 100 people all playing a board game. I was like, I really want to be able to do something like that again. I just want to do that again. So I took the battlefield rules, which is like, very military, platoon versus platoon, squad versus squad, where there's, you're just trying to kill each other. There's no narrative. There's no D&D. There's no, characters. It's just units trying to just kill each other.
Yeah.
So I took that core rules and I added on what Joe and I used to do with like, now there's some agents too. Besides your platoons and tanks, there's a spy, there's a diplomat, there's a, what's the other one? An enforcer that's going around like intimidating the population. And now there's a few neutral areas in the map that are worth points, right? So kind of risk-esque.
Objectives or something, yeah.
Yeah, so like, and then what happens when you lose units? Well, when you take those cities, they have factories and you can mix in units to produce it. So we've made this game, I'm calling it AOC, Advent Cataclysm Versus, and it's all out there. And I've got a few experienced friends of the channel who are good gamers or have been playing a beta test with me for a long time. And so we're starting September. We're going, and actually I was inspired by YouTube because you did such a great job of being like, hey, throw us your Actionverse teams. I'm like, I've got to capture that. Like, how do you do that? So starting September, we've already built our armies virtually. I'm going to set it all up in my yard and leave it out there for a whole month. I'll have a battlefield set up in my yard, and then every week I'm going to be like, hey, these are what the players did this week, and do an update of turn by turn. Like, okay, what do you guys want to do with my army now? And let the viewers actually decide and choose. Like, I'll give a binary option, obviously, because if you make it too many.
Yeah.
So the viewers were able to choose, like, go left, go right, sabotage this or do this.
Go to that bridge or
Yeah, and then I'll do that on my turn the next time, and then we'll do another update. And then the Patreon members, I think Brian, you actually signed up to this too. You get to have a character. So in my army, I've got 3 agents. You get to customize a figure. I'm going to showcase it, be like, so when it's in that turn, I'm like, and then my agent, I pull up your picture that you send, and there'll be like an action he's doing, like cutting someone's throat or negotiating or whatever. It's like, he negotiated in this time, blah, 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 blah. So I actually use your character pictures throughout it too. So that'll be the engagement piece to it. So I'm really excited. I wish I had people here to be able to do this, but this is as close as I can get. So I think it'll be a whole month for one game, and I'll kind of shut the lid on that, reset, drag all the stuff back in, mow my grass, and then we'll do another one. So probably in the dead of winter too. I'll be out there like freezing, like, this is so stupid. I have frostbite and I can't see anything that's covered in snow. So, but
we gotta have a snow. We have to have a snow version.
Snow battle, exactly. And I just spray painted all my snowcats green, so that was bad.
Oh,
time.
good job! Yeah,
yeah. So, but yeah, I'm really
got rid of all those
excited.
snow vehicles.
Yeah. So I'm really excited about it, man.
Yeah. Now, are you thinking about setting up some permanent structures in the backyard?
So
that'll be there like year round.
I can't, because it'll kill my grass. My wife cares about that. So I have a garden that is like, that's where I leave the wood structures now. Like T and I took a couple plywood sheets and I just put them together at a right angle and then cut some doors and windows. I was like, here you go. So they're just like corner pieces that are set up, and I left in the garden. And I've just started, my wife watched me mowing. She's like, that's the weirdest mowing you've ever. Did you purposely leave islands of grass out there? I'm like, I did, because this is one big obstacle, and these are lanes. Weird. And like, yeah. So like, there's like 2 lanes and like these little islands of plants that like you can't drive a tank through. She's like, everything you do is Toy related. I'm like, yes. I don't know how you don't know that after.
Yeah, I mean, how have we not figured that out by now?
So that stays in the garden, but in the rest of the grass, I'm actually going to store the stuff under our deck, so I can just drag it out, throw a bunch of like, So yeah, I'm excited, man.
Yeah,
sounds like fun.
It sounds pretty.
You
cool.
weatherproofing those boards?
So the ones that I left outside were weatherproof. One I found out I didn't. I went back. I was like, oh, you are falling apart, crumbling fast, right? But everything else is going to be cardboard boxes. I'm going to spray paint them like a gray, a black, yellow, or red. And if they dissolve in rain, I'm like, oh, well, just throw the box away, right? Because I don't have anywhere to store them afterwards. So, I mean,
right.
And the wood.
You've got plenty of Big Bad Toy Store boxes coming in every day anyway. So
yeah.
It's fine.
Now it's all Amazon furniture boxes.
Yeah, there you go.
So, but
that'll work.
But I want to start building more wood, like cowboy fronts or prop, just like not diorama, but just like this represents, and put a bunker down or put a tower down, or whatever like that. You know what I mean? Like not pretty. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like this represents this, and then leave them out there, and then have I almost want like a tool shed that I just throw like wood buildings back into and then haul them out. You know what I mean? So
that would be cool. Yeah.
So instead of a wood shed that has like lawnmower and all the tools.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
Filled with tiny buildings.
My father-in-law is going to come and like, oh, mow your grass. What in the hell?
It's the lawnmower is like mounted on the wall, and the floor is just filled with
all the rest.
No, it's just parked outside next to the shed.
Yeah. It's getting rained on.
Yeah, it's rusted. I had to protect the car.
What do you have the shed for? Shh.
Two sheds, one for the actual lawnmower.
Yeah. Yep. So yeah, I'm pumped about it. It's like, it's the thing I love playing the most. Like Actionverse is probably what people actually play, because it's 5 versus 5 figures on a tabletop. Yeah. It's a very fast game, and the setup can be like Coke cans and cardboard boxes if you wanted to, or if you want to do like a diorama setup, you can, right? So that's the most realistic. But this is what I want to do. I'm so excited about doing it. So that's what's coming up.
Like Actionverse is the entry, thing. This brings you in, or brings people in.
There you go. Yeah.
And then then you start kind of easing them into the
And
big
they're like,
battles.
well, you also can't assume that people army build the way that Dom and I do.
You mean most
know.
people
Right.
I mean, a lot of people do, but like
13
not
Snowcats? What?
like it. Like not a lot of people have 15 his tanks in their closet. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have an excuse.
Sure.
You have an excuse.
Now,
You know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like that's the thing. Is like when you have kids, you can almost just use them as the excuse for a lot
Oh
of
yeah,
stuff.
it's the best.
Right?
Mhm.
Are you kidding?
It's them. We're
That's
playing
why I bought
together.
all those He-Man origins.
That's exactly right. You know, so it's
Like
you
my
know.
son's too old to hold a toy, and I'm like, he needs a Castle Grayskull, honey. It's fine.
Yeah, exactly.
oh, big bucks.
Like when
Something
A
here.
little box of
my son
snowcats
was,
that are
he
no
was-
longer snowcats.
So if you've seen my Joe Fest video, right, I'm not going to spoil how many snowcats I actually got from there, right? So, but I got a bunch, and I had this idea that I just wanted like a platform that was kind of modular, so you could put whatever you want,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So, and I'm going to use it
Yeah.
for the clone army we have, right? So here's a snowcat, and I haven't done the wheels. I literally just got done like hitting the tops today. I haven't took about it. But this
Are
is
you
the
spray
missile-
painting the glass to make it like more like
Armor.
an armored canopy?
And I'm gonna put what's it called? Just some cardstock on it to give it like a little armor.
Yeah,
raise
like a
on it.
little bit of a
Yeah,
raid,
and that's it, and then be done with it, right? So, but this is the missile one, right? So I took a mean dog pod, and it's just because it's small, it's only gonna be able to fire like a HIMARS, right? System, so not a lot. And so then I got inspired by Chris George, and I used a cardboard turret here in the back. I need to put this is regular big cardboard, so it's kind of thick, and now I need to put the cereal box cardboard on top to make it smooth and thin, like hide the ugly gaps in here. But this is the artillery piece, right? So like I used the slam.
I couldn't have told you that was cardboard unless you just
Oh,
told me
thanks. And then for the anti-aircraft,
I saw it right away, Dom. It was blatant. And gross.
I took the what's it called, the whirlwind cannons. I had to Dremel off the back seat of it to make it smooth to actually fit in.
Yeah.
But so it's one platform for all three of the artillery. So whether it's
That's
cannon,
awesome.
missile, and then this, so it's like it's changed up. So I've got a whole box of them here. I didn't spray paint 2 snowcats, but only because I ran out of turrets. But there's like a whole, I don't know, like platoon's worth in here for whoever chooses that army. So like I did that just for this upcoming game. I'm really excited. It's the only project that I've gotten to do that's not house related in like a month, so I was really excited to be able to do it. So.
Yeah, those look awesome so far.
Yeah, thanks.
I had thought about
having armies that. Oh, I was gonna say having armies that like people can just come over and play would probably help out a lot too. Because a buddy of mine does. He's gotten into 3D printing and he does like all his own. He prints out like all the G.I. Joe vehicles as like tabletop miniatures and whatnot.
Oh, I see those. Yeah, those are fun.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fun.
Oh yeah, but like him having all those just on hand makes it easy. Like I just show up and it's like, oh, okay, pick out what vehicles you want to use and what troopers and all that. And
that's really cool.
I kind of thought about after you bought all of those snowcats, I was like, I wonder if I got one and I painted it a different color. What could I use it for? You know what I'm saying? Like take off because there was a gun. Was there a missile launcher in the back?
Yeah, it's got a missile launcher back here, which it's on this weird mount, and then it's got this open box thing, and I'm like, it's fine, but
it's fine. It's not the best stuff. Yeah.
And you can tell me that a half track is not a good design too, because it's not. But it's fun. I like that. It just looks neat. Yes, I mean it's impractical, but it looks neat. So.
It's also not just. Oh, sorry. This is going back to something Bob said a little while ago, but like it's not like Action Verse is like an intro to this game. It's like Action Verse is the like squad level, like one-on-one players versus like a platoon, or like I feel like these games are interchangeable. You could play them together, even like you could work like you can play the big battle game, but then if you wanted to get if you wanted to boil down to the micro and like get like if you really wanted to fight between 2 platoons and see how that fight played out on a micro level, like you could just do Action Verse version of that like section of the larger battle or whatever.
Yeah.
But that's kind of how me and Dom have been playing with toys when we were younger anyway. So like,
So did you play versus each other? You ever do that?
Yeah, for sure.
Oh, in Action Verse?
No. I'm just talking about when
when
you
we
were
were
young.
kids. Yeah.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah.
of course. Yeah.
That's kind of what he was
how do you-
describing with the versus. We literally called them versus games. Like we
And
would
then
like dump all the GI Joes out and be like, I want this one, I want this one, I want this
Yeah,
one, and
yeah,
like
yeah,
back
yeah.
and forth
Mhm.
forever.
How did you decide on who got killed?
So that
Yeah,
when it got
that's where the
sticky,
rules
right?
didn't. Yeah.
So you would there's like the turns where we kind of and we'd bring in third parties and then I'd kind of like arbitrate, right? So like
Yeah, we kind of like made it. We're all pretty like
it was pretty much just like, well, I'm gonna grab
on
it here and
on the level with each other. So like
Yeah.
you know,
and it kind of ended up being turns. Like, well, I'm going to do this thing. I fire over here. I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. That guy's dead. And Joe would be like, yeah, that makes sense. I'm going to go do this thing over here. Right. So like it kind of naturally flowed a little bit too. Right.
yeah, like if my army was
Yeah.
out of their base or quote unquote or whatever and attacking Dominic and one of our friends like attacked my base, I would be like, well, you got me. I mean,
Yeah,
I
you
don't
got
have
me.
anybody
Yeah,
back
yeah,
there,
so-
you know.
if I had,
kind of
if
thing.
I
I mean, like,
had
you know.
no, if I had played D&D at all or been more into like tabletop games back then, I easily would have grabbed some D6. Like, here we go. Right. So like we kind of arbitrated without, but like nowadays, even my sons, well, not Finn most of the time, but like even my sons just like, oh, let's throw dice. Like they love that mechanic of like, because Chris was like, I love the chance, like because he understands
Yeah, it
like
takes all
pluses and
the-
minuses.
yeah.
So
Mhm.
yeah, so yeah,
Yeah, so my friends and I we would always get into big arguments. I'm like, you're not
exactly.
going
Yeah.
to guys right off the bat, okay? It's like you got to shoot somebody else. You can't shoot him. You know, it's like
We would do that every once in a while. Like
Yeah.
for the most part, we would actually chuck the missile across the room, and if it like hit the guy, that it's like, or hit the tank, we'd be like, nailed it, you know, or whatever. And I'm like, "Yeah." But if it like missed, we'd be like, oh, you missed the tank, it's still going, you know, like it blew up beside it. But I mean, every once in a while, it would land in the foxhole of your main character, and you'd be like, it hit over here, and you just shifted over three, and it killed these three guys instead of him, you know, or whatever.
My Tristan and Finn still fight like the worst arguments about who got who or who can do what, right? So like when it starts boiling to that point, I'm like, stop. And I get a D20, I'm like, here you go. And Finn will be like, oh, I'm like, no, you get +5 because you're a warrior, and he doesn't. He's like, oh, okay. You know, if you explain the logic on what he's aiming for. But even honestly, like the idea of like your poisons, I'm like, yeah, but you're really tough. So like you should be able to, or like he'll even lean in, is like, oh, Dad, I'm a little guy. Like I'm not gonna be able to take poison. I'm even gonna roll. I'm like, I love that. I don't know. Like you start getting that good player kind of understanding. And like really, whenever it comes to any game, if you have good players who are more about having fun and less about trying to take over the next guy, like you can win, right? But like as long as you have good player sense, most things will arbitrate out. But you know, dice is always a great argument settler.
Oh,
yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, dice don't lie, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So
yeah, so that's something like I said, we kind of got into a few arguments, and by that time it was like, okay, all right, we spent 2 hours setting up everything.
yeah, let's have fun.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah.
Go ahead and get some stuff going so we can finish this, you know. But Jesus, yeah, a lot more setup than the actual game would take.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly. Yeah.
Mhm.
But anyway, Joe, so what do you have? Do you got anything going on right now?
Outside of well, I mean, I do 2 other podcasts, so
Oh.
there's that. No, I'm working on the Action Force, or I mean the Action Verse, excuse me, book for Dom. So we're doing that. Other than that, yeah, just doing Toy Domination, and then I have a comic book podcast, and I have a Wheel of Time podcast that I've been doing for a very long time.
So, what's the comic book podcast called?
It's called Mobius Couch, and it's with a couple of my friends, and we kind of read old comics or sometimes modern comics. Depends on like what we're deciding to do at the random time. Sometimes we do, like we did X-Men 97, like we'll randomly do a movie or a cartoon or something like that we all watched and review that as well.
Or Akira,
and we kind of
like
I just when I'm not on Toy Domination, it's because I'm recording that. That's basically what's happening.
Okay. Cool.
Or are they done like deep cuts like Akira, right? So
yeah,
it
we
doesn't
do
have to
some
be, like
deeper
mainline.
cuts,
Yeah. So.
Yeah. And we'll typically just do like a story. Like we've done a couple of JLA episodes, but it's really just like we just do a story arc. Like we don't do like the whole 150 issue run or what, you know, kind of whatever. But so you know, we have endless amounts of comics to continue to pick out. And read,
How many episodes have you guys done?
we only do like every couple of weeks, so we do 2 a month. So we're on like, and we've been doing it for a couple of years now. Like basically started around the time that Dom and I started doing the Toy Domination. So like I think we're on like 50 or 60. Like we're in the 50s, but I think it's closer to 60 at this point. But so
Well,
we
you
just
probably-
crossed our 52, like which would have been a year, but it's every other week. So it's really 2 years. And
That is cool.
So is
we're-
this on YouTube or
they
where
are
can
not.
people
So it's
catch
been on
this?
YouTube since the beginning, but only like the last. Well, I would say the last year actually it has video. Like it was just like the audio recordings of the podcast
Mhm.
before now on YouTube. But the last year they've been video YouTubes, but they're not stream. It's just it's an edited show that's like put out.
Right.
You know.
Oh, okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
I had originally thought about back in the day about doing a comic podcast with somebody, but it just I could, I didn't really have, I guess, the equipment or the wherewithal to figure out how to do that with a stranger or something at this point in time.
Yeah.
Like I didn't really have a whole lot of friends that read comics, and so it's like,
Mhm.
like I had a friend that did World of Warcraft podcast, and I was like, would you be interested maybe in doing like this comic book? Because he read some comics, and he's like, yeah, I'd be interested in it, and just never went
Right.
toward,
Yeah.
Anyway, Dom, what about you? What's next for you?
That's it. I'm done. No, the book is a big thing. This next game has been really energizing me because like my work is sapping all the life out of me, right? So like this is the one thing during the day I'm like, oh, let's design another, like a thing like that gives me some energy in there. So that's really fun. And then after we push Actionverse out, we're actually going to get it to print. I think I'm going to pause from games and go back to writing. I think like I'm going to keep running the channel and making videos
It's
like that
about
too.
time.
Yeah, so like, but writing and like that Carbon Snow you showed, like I had to write a script for that. And the next one that I have already filmed, I asked some people like, hey, do you want to come in and do some voices? Because there's way too many characters in this for me to like keep changing my voice slightly higher and slower, right? So, like I need some variety. So but I was like, oh my God, I got to write a script for this. This is like a 13-minute video, I was like, oh geez. So like I kind of paused on it because I was like, this is a bit too much to bite off. And then I was like, I kind of really want to get that writing itch into a book form. Like I just went to a bookstore yesterday and I got a really fun Firefly the Show-esque book that I found. I was like, this looks great. And I went home and saw my book on the shelf. I was like, I need to get another one next to this. I need to get another one here and another right there, right? Even if it's thinner, I need to get another one there. So like I really have that itch. Yeah, it is. Yeah, it's lonely. It's been very lonely, right? So I've got the itch and I've been waffling on because technology is very hard to write because it's like right now in our day and age, like no one knew Chat GPT 40 years ago. Like that was never a concept, right? And now look at Chat GPT is, right? So like trying to keep your writing in sci-fi to even what's current, much less what's 100 years, it's like, well, we're all just matter floating in space and we do whatever we want. You know what I mean? Like it's like what's the next logical leap in how we progress? So that's very daunting. And I never want to look back at like a Star Wars film where you've got a guy with the guns like shooting at planes. I'm like, what is this, World War II? You're in space. What's happening right now? But it's really fun to have a guy with lasers shooting at planes. Rather than drones that look like this. That are flying from an operator 50 kilometers away that blow up a tank, right? Because that's what's going on in warfare right now. So like that's been my struggle is the realism and what's fun. So like I kind of gotten over that hurdle, and now with the YouTube channel and everything, I'm like I think I'm gonna pause from script writing and go to that direction. So yeah.
One thing, aliens could develop technologies that are completely
This is
different.
Dom's book. Everyone should go buy it. It's called Tungsten Spider.
I never promote that. Yeah.
And there's a lot. It's a very large book.
Joe did that cover. It's fantastic.
Oh, yeah, I did this cover.
Yeah, he did the cover. Yeah,
Nice.
yeah.
Some inside shots.
Yeah, there you go. That's the design work, early design work. Yep.
Awesome.
You should go read his book, guys. It's fun. It's a fun book.
Can you pick that up on Amazon?
You can.
Yes.
Make sure you get
that
this
cover.
version.
That version, though. Yeah, the other one goes to some piece of crap company that I was with, and we went.
Yeah, we tried to put out an earlier version a long time, and it was not. It's not fun.
Yeah,
so
it's also not the
out,
finished version, really. It's the version 1.
I've read all kinds of books, through the ages, and so I'll give it a try. For sure.
Yeah, I never promote it because it's always like I feel my writing has gotten much better since then. So I look, I'm like, that was a janky sentence. Like, that could have flown better. Did I need that paragraph? Right? So I'm like, I'm too harsh on it. That's why I like want to get another one to be like, yeah, there's that, but there's this one here that I think is better, right? So
Yeah.
thanks, Batman.
It's I think we're always harder on ourselves, right? When we do anything and try to put it out there.
100%.
And so all right. So Joe, you said you did a podcast about the Wheel of Time.
I do, yeah.
So have you read all the books?
Yeah, many times.
Yeah, a couple times. Yeah.
Okay. That's one series I never got into. I think I might have bought one of the books, but I just never got around to reading.
It was kind of a culture for fans of that series to, like, as the next book was coming out, to like because it would be like 3 years apart, and people would reread the series like leading up to like the 10th book or whatever was coming out. So I read a lot of the beginning of the series many times, but like the later half of the series not as many. But yeah, and then eventually, like, me and my older brother and our buddy Jono would just end up, whenever we're hanging out, inevitably we would end up talking about the Wheel of Time at some point in the night. And and it was like, this is a million years ago, but my brother was like, hey, why don't we just do a podcast about it, kind of thing. So we've been doing that for a very long time.
And don't they have like a show on Amazon now?
Yeah, they do. Yeah, we like review the show, and mostly we hate it, so we mock it and relentlessly.
Do you? I like it. I think it's fun.
I think it's fun. I'm like the one that likes it
because
and also
their
any new
interpretation
content is fun too.
Yeah.
So like there's that too, but like it's just not. It's not as true to the books as a lot of the people would want it to be, but I feel like it's getting closer.
Like you have to abridge that, like for a TV show. You know
what I mean? I don't know, man. I disagree. Like the 3-hour Lord of the Rings movie, and you have 8 to 10 hours to tell a story in a season.
True,
like that's that's a lot of time.
The Trollocs look amazing in that show, though.
Oh yeah, they do.
They look really cool. So instead of orcs, they have like Trollocs. And they're like these.
It's like
they're basically beasts.
Animal, animal,
really cool
human
there.
beasts.
Yeah. All right, what about this, guys? Have you ever read that?
I never got. I was a Dragonlance fan, and then I went immediately into like the Wheel of Time and other stuff like that. So I never really got into the Forgotten Realms.
I can tell you, it is fantastic.
I like Forgotten Realms.
I read 20 books. It's Forgotten Realms, and so it's like, it was really good.
Every time I went to the bookstore, I just got another Dragonlance book instead of getting a Forgotten Realms book.
Funny story. Yeah. My parents bought me the first Forgotten Realms for like a stocking stuffer, like in the 80s, and I never read it, right? And so about, let's say 15 years later, I was in like one of the bookstores, and I pulled a book off the shelf, and it was Forgotten Realms. I think it was called 1,000 Orcs. And so I went home and started reading it.
Oh, yeah. I've read that one.
Familiar. And so I went back and threw all my novels because I don't throw anything away. And I found the first one. I'm like, holy crap. And so I just I read that one. I was like, okay, got to buy the next one, and I was just like, got to buy the next one. And so anyway, but yeah, they were really good. The Dragonlance were really good, but I kind of feel like that was good for childhood, my childhood.
Yeah, for sure. I reread the first trilogy recently just for fun, and it's very young adults. I would call it.
They redid the series. Well, not they have another series going now, a trilogy. Anyway, I haven't read those.
So on our podcast, we've talked to Margaret Wise a couple of times. Like she's been on it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. That's awesome. Okay.
She's a lot of fun to talk to.
Yeah. We went to fantasy novels.
I love it
tonight.
As long anytime we're on a show, that we always have to bring comics somehow into this.
There you go.
Trend, yeah.
Comics are great.
Yes. Anyway, I love those. Anyway, all right. Well, hey, I appreciate you guys coming on.
Dude, thanks for having us.
Yeah, it's been great talking with you guys.
Yeah, absolutely.
When I first started this, I was like, I definitely want to get both of you guys on. Just like I want to get everybody else on that had me on, And so, it's been
I appreciate it.
Yeah, I thank you guys for coming on.
No,
and Bob, you got anything that you want to push?
Yeah, I got a video that should be dropping out pretty soon. I say pretty soon, probably like Monday or Tuesday, if all goes well.
Yeah, okay.
So
that's soon.
Any teasers
for that.
Tomorrow?
Any teasers? What it is? A content teaser?
Well, I went to a plastic model exhibition yesterday and shot a bunch of footage, and So working on editing that up, and it's mostly done. But
Thanks,
in
Josh.
case errors come up, give myself a little buffer.
They are.
So we want to have you guys back on in the future. We're, like I said, I think we talked about this before the show. Like, we're planning out September's guests and lines, right? So it's time we did another creator shout out. It's always fun to like go find, people are making stuff on IG, like world builders and all that stuff too. So that'd be a great episode for you guys to be on. So we talk world building and then showcase other artists as well. So I think it'd be a fun.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah,
that'd be fun.
Yeah, so you guys are coming back on then.
Hey, anytime.
Penciling that in.
Wasn't the question. Wasn't the question.
All right.
All right. Well, hey, we're gonna call it quits tonight. But anyway, I thank you guys for coming on.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. No, thanks for having us again.
Thanks, Bob.
Appreciate it. Thanks everyone watching too.
Jed.
We'll do it again sometime. How about that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. All right. You guys have a good one.
Have a good evening, all.
Ciao.